What is that in the background? Which one is that?
That's the custom diversions.
Oh, I see. The old custom diversions ploy.
Let me turn off my overhead here.
Let me see. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? You like this? You like this view? Or are we too tiny?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that much better.
Because you can see the text at the bottom. Assuming we get anybody watching this time. So
I didn't realize, I didn't know you could adjust those settings like that. That's cool.
Yeah, there's little you can do all kinds of things. You can move things around at will and get very, very creative. And,
Maybe one of these days I'll try and host one of these things and see how it works.
I think it would do well. You have more subscribers than I do, and it really helps produce content. Oh, it got dark over there.
There we go.
Yeah, that's better. Okay. So hi Isaac, how are you?
Oh, it's already in, huh?
It's already here.
Are we already live? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've been fiddling around. I told you.
Oh yeah, for a minute and 30 seconds. Okay, cool.
You gave yourself like 3 minutes to get ready. I was just sitting here holding my cat for a while and wondering what sabers I wanted to have in here. So I decided to have relevant sabers to the task at hand. So anyway, introductions in case anybody's not familiar with us. My name is Scott, aka Darth Paradigm. I like to buy these sabers, and I like to review them, and not too many sabers, not as many as usual, but I'm really digging the sound fonts lately. I just bought I think it's Kyberphonics, the whole suite of the Survivor, the Fallen Order, his Fallen Order sound fonts with all the colors and everything, and it was 50% off. What are you gonna do, right? Black Friday sale. Yeah, I mean, I like sound fonts, so I have my sounds all loaded up, and yeah. So anyway, that's what I do. And my friend.
Yeah, this is Gray Paladin. My name's Emery, also known as Gray Paladin, and I primarily just review sabers and try to do a few installs here and there. I got a few series up, but yeah, I mean, those that know who I am know what I do. So anyway, that's that. I do need to get more into the sound fonts, and actually, I'll be honest, I've been really lazy lately. Like since I moved, I have not done anything font related, and I want to get back on that bandwagon one of these days.
I found that one of the things that I'm enjoying is I love going onto the crystalfocus.com website, and I like playing around with the blade profiles and mixing and matching the colors. I'm starting to learn what all the little signifiers mean when you put the values next to them. Everything's pretty clear cut, and that's a very useful resource if you want to learn at least how to kind of customize your saber. I've created some. Well, I didn't create them. Credit to the person that actually did create them. Some really interesting blade profiles, much more interesting than what usually just comes on your average CFX saber. So I just want to say, what's up, Solo like Solo? Hello. And
well, I guess before we get any further, because we're almost 5 minutes in, and we should cover one major basis, and you know what that is.
Is it this?
I'm going by the bottle tonight, so.
Oh, I see.
Oh, cheers.
Think.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight I will be drinking my favorite beer, which is 6 Point Resin from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, I'm going a little lighter tonight, doing some German beer. The Weihenstephaner. It's a 5% beer from Bavaria, one of my favorites. Real nice, easy
5%
drinking
because it's
pills.
a Sunday evening, and we were initially going to go on Friday, but we had conflicts with. I just
And you know
didn't
what?
want.
And you know what? I realized something. It's Sunday, and we could have done this much earlier because
That's what I
people
was
usually aren't
saying.
working. Yeah, it just didn't dawn on me because I was like, oh, usually that normal 6 o'clock time or whatever, and I realized actually it was today. I thought, man, it's Sunday. We could have done this much earlier.
And that's when I said, like, oh, we can pretty much do it any time. And then you said, how about the usual time? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I was still like in Friday mode.
Yeah, it
But oh
happens.
well. Yeah, so
So,
I'm going a little lighter on the beer tonight because I have to work in the morning. So
yeah,
figure
well,
just
for me, this is later on the beer lately. But anyways, so how did you do anything interesting on Black Friday that was saber related, or did you just
absolutely. So I was kind of checking out. I mean, I'll be honest, folks. I've kind of put Sabertrio behind me. I think for some time, and that's a topic of discussion a little bit later in
this
our
could
chat
actually
here.
be our lead in. We can go right from here to there. I think
Okay,
it
that
would
sounds
make
good.
sense. It's all kind of relevant.
Uh, but as many as you know, based off of our posts, we've been wanting to get the new First Harvest soundboard that's in the Saberforge veteran tier lineup now. And so initially we're like, hey, we're going to order our apprentice sabers, and then we thought, what if they do mystery boxes? And it turns out that Saberforge did do that. So very impatiently waiting the entire day, like, when are they going to release? When are they going to release? And I think it was
We're
maybe
messaging back and forth and going.
like we're
It's
dying here.
12:45. What are you guys
Yeah.
doing? It's already about. And so I went on to Facebook and I messaged Facebook and I messaged Saberforge, duh. And usually if you message Saberforge directly through Facebook, you just get a message right back saying,
Automated reply.
no, an automated reply. I got nothing. And so I was messaging, Emery and I were messaging back and forth, and then basically it was like 10 minutes, and then I got the notification because we both signed up for notifications when the mystery boxes became available. I signed up for the veteran and champion because I was kind of keen on getting both, which is kind of what I did. And then we went on, and they were available. They're still available. The only one that's sold out right now is veteran tier. Veteran tier.
So they actually did show sold out. Okay.
Yeah, they have initiates. They have warrior tier, veteran, champion, hero, and hero
Hero
pixel.
Pixel.
And veteran tier is the only one that sold out because I think everyone was kind of thinking the same thing. It's the perfect price point. You get yourself a Golden Hearts V1. Sort of how memes. Hello. So
So I ended up getting a veteran tier mystery box, and then I said, "Oh, what the hey? I'll go ahead and get a boneyard too." And those actually sold out pretty quickly. So I have both a boneyard and a veteran tier.
And I shouldn't have done it, but the mystery boxes are such a rare occurrence, and I really want to get myself another champion tier. I know that you're usually locked into just a single LED color, and there's not a chance of getting, like a NeoPixel or anything like that. But I mean, I'm fine with that. In a way, I kind of enjoy I kind of enjoy how that works.
Well, what's nice about these is I kind of like the idea of like if I'm going to get a single color, I like to know that it's somewhat of a surprise and I don't know what it is because I really don't know what color to pick when it's just one. And plus, you have the added advantage of getting the smooth swing and all the extra effects and stuff too. So that's pretty cool.
It's really nice to be able to pick what soundboard you want. I mean, just to pick sound and then you don't know. I mean, they could pretty much send you anything from an electronic standpoint. I mean, right now the main variable is the hilt, because you can get like you can still get a Shoto or a
Which I hope I don't get. I don't want a
apprentice.
Shoto.
Yeah, I would prefer an apprentice or an elite. It would be really nice to get at least one kind of unicorny kind of hilt, or I'd like to get one of the newer ones, like with the bluing on it, or something like that.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Something,
Or like the cleric or one of those.
yeah, something unique, something. I mean, I guess I'm not too fussy.
Speaking of that, let's talk about that trooper hilt that they released for Black Friday.
That is a very, very nice hilt. I mean, it was $240 or $250 regular price, and then the electronics were on top of that, which is what prevented me from buying it. And I wasn't going to be spending enough to make it
to the threshold for the
the
drawing. Yeah, I mean, me too. I think the Boneyard and the Veteran together put me at like 340 or 320, something like that. So it just wasn't enough, and I just didn't want to find something else that put me over just to be entered into a drawing that I know I'm not going to win. So
yeah, it starts getting into Ultra Sabers territory. I'm not much for gambling. I like paying for what I get. If they if they happen to here free blade plug or something, then whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I like. I'm glad that I bought the two mystery boxes. I really kind of feel like I'd be kicking myself if I didn't get that extra one. And I haven't bought too many sabers lately. Not as many as I used to. The market's kind of just sort of dried up a bit. I mean, if you see something that you like in the wild, a hilt, it's just usually very, very bougie, and everything's kind of pushing. Sometimes you'll see something like for 400, like my Vader that I bought, which I've yet to review, which was a good price considering how much Saber Mock actually charges for that. I got a really good deal, and I like it. But generally, it's rare to find deals quite like that. Everything's kind of pushing 6, 7, 850, 1,000. It seems like everyone's sort of selling their higher, more expensive hilts to finance the fact that I just don't think everyone's financially doing that well, and times are tough for everybody. And
for me, like even now, I think the LGT stuff is really starting to get up there. And that was like, hey, if you don't want to spend a lot of money but still get something decent, go for an LGT reseller. And now I feel like even all the hilts that they're coming out with, and they have a lot now, but some of them are like really getting up in there in price range. I just don't want to spend that, especially for something that's not that reliable. But Saberforge, I feel like is checking all the boxes for me, and they're definitely my go-to because the mystery boxes. And I agree with Turtle, like they have the best mystery boxes hands down of any other company. But there's a lot of value in their sabers, and I'm really excited to see what this first harvest soundboard is going to be all about. And apparently, I actually ordered a blank board from Saberforge through Etsy. And hopefully I'll be getting that soon. And then I actually found a wiring diagram, which apparently are very hard to find, but I got one. But I guess Sabertech, they make Golden Harvest, and they had their version 2, which didn't have the smooth swing and all that. And then the version 3, which is what we're seeing now, which is really awesome. And then they said, hey, let's do basically an economy board, and that's first harvest. And as far as I know, Saberforge Veteran Tier is the only thing that's offering that. So I got really high hopes for this soundboard. I'm excited, and honestly, if it's as good as I think it's going to be, that might just be like my default board when I order a Saber from them now.
I mean, I've heard it. I saw the demo that they have on the Saberforge website, and
it's legit.
It sounds good. Comes with 10 built-in sound fonts.
I like it. It's all their stock fonts, which I like all those Saberforge stock fonts.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll set mine to what I can't remember the name of the. It's the sound font I have in my ARC on. It's Cyber Assassin. I love that sound font. But
For me, heirloom and the master are like,
Yeah.
they just, I like those sound effects.
I have that. I have on my my Redeemer. I have those two sound fonts, and I put a like Obi-Wan 4 or something on there, which sounds great for a champion tier board. I just hope that, like, for the veteran tier, that we get RGB. I really prefer to have RGB. So my champion single LED, I'm fine. For the veteran, if I think they kind of, I don't know, they kind of owe it to us, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I know I would be pleased with either, but I definitely want the RGB. And if I was going to order, actually, let's talk about this. If we didn't get the mystery boxes, what was going to be your apprentice order for Black Friday?
Well, I was going to be getting a Renegade with the veteran RGB, and you're talking powder coating. Yeah. I could spring for powder coating, but I am so bad at deciding on things like that. I mean, so I don't have any tattoos. Like, I know what I like.
I don't either.
Put it on my body permanently. It's kind of like, if I got kind of something that sounds cool in my head, color combination, and then I get it, and I'm like, wow, that's a pretty garish mess. Actually, that kind of happened to me. I have a Saber Mock Blackburn, which I kind of wanted a rosy color, coppery kind of powder coating, and
which would look really good.
It looks good. What I got looks good, but it wasn't what I was picturing, because I had seen photos of a hilt that someone had custom made, and I really liked the color. I actually sent them the colors, and they approximated it the best that they could. I don't know. I'm like, I would have no idea what to select, or I'm a kind of, I guess, sort of a bit of a saber purist. And I would have gotten that one in just the standard finish.
Okay.
And you?
For me, it was going to be the Prodigy, and I think I was going to go weathered, and I was going to try to have it powder coated and do the copper vein. I thought that would look cool with over the weathered finish, and then of course the veteran RGB. And to address Turtle Helm, yeah, cool. You just popped them up there. I don't think you have to be concerned about the old veteran tier. I think they've gotten rid of all of those. They purged those in the last mystery box thing that they did. Oh, gosh, when was that? Was it around Christmas? I can't remember. But their last mystery box thing, they purged all their old boards. And I can confirm that because when you ordered the veteran tier, it actually had the videos that told you what each tier was. So veteran tier will be the first harvest.
But this is my proof right here. The simple fact that
that's right?
And they did not have any. I just don't think they have any saber cores left. In fact, I have a what is it? An Oracle. It's an older Oracle, and it has like a older veteran tier soundboard, which it either has like a loose something or other, or a short, and it sort of works, but sort of doesn't work. The soundboard sounds fine, but I'm trying to send it to Saberforge so I can, at least get the issue taken care of. But if it's actually the board, which is why I'm going this route, then I don't know what they would do for me if they replaced it with the current veteran tier board. That would be like a really good deal. I mean, I don't mind paying for it, but I'm sure that they would be fair, a lot more fair. I mean, I'm not an installer. I just don't have the time or the patience for that. But if I sent it out to be installed, I would probably end up spending a lot more. So
probably,
this is just the better route for me. But I haven't heard back from them yet. But I was expecting it was probably going to take a while. They usually take, that's the issue with their customer services. A lot of people say that their customer service isn't that great, but it's just they always get back to me and they always answer my questions. They're always polite. It takes like a week, sometimes a little bit longer. And I haven't ever had any issues with them. I have a Heretic, and it's one of my favorite sabers. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. Again, it's an older veteran tier. If they sent me a Heretic, I'd be thrilled. If I get with either board, I would be absolutely thrilled. Or the one that's above it, the elite version. The Heretic has like an elite version. I can't remember what it's called.
And since we got mystery boxes, before we were talking about getting apprentice hilts, but since we're getting mystery boxes, that could be any part of the spectrum. It could be a crystal, highly unlikely, but we could very likely get an elite hilt, which I think we probably will get. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I have no idea like what I would actually want out of the elite line. There's a few that I really do like, but I haven't really put thought into what they would actually send me. Turtle Helm, your powder coat question. Now I powder coated my Vanquish with, this is the transparent gold, and I did this back in 2019, and I think it turned out great. And I do agree that their new pricing, because before it was like almost $100, but $75 or $100, and they reduced it to $50, which is nice. And the options are great. I'll say that the powder coating that they did on this Vanquish is really nice, and this was like 2 years ago. So no, 2018 I got this. So that was like 2 years ago. So I would trust whatever they would do. But the difficulty is, what I wish they would do is, when you go into like the Saber configurator, when you're doing like the ESP stuff, I wish there's an option to choose the powder coating so you can kind of get an idea of what it might look like. Because otherwise you say, oh, I like purple, and you pick purple and you get it and it looks like crap. I mean, you may not like how it looks overall. So I kind of stick to more of the transparent colors, and I stay away from like bright red or white or purple or like a bright blue. I try to make it look more natural like this. But yeah,
I just want to address a couple things. My internet
dial up.
Yeah. I'm actually you'll see the change of venue. I'm in the room next to my room, which actually has the router in it, and I switched from the cable provided router, which was a piece of garbage, over to my router, which I purchased, which is not a piece of garbage, and so my signal is a lot stronger. And to address the Star Killer, I have an Unleashed too. It's an older veteran tier, but it's prestige. It's got like a, that's got the red crystal in it, but I can't play with it because it's so hard. I don't like, everyone's getting these really, really bougie and expensive and customized Star Killers, and I'm happy with what I have because I find they're unwieldy. They just look good. I feel like if I swing it around too much and I make contact with something, there's not enough metal. It's gonna snap like right in the middle where that crystal chamber is. So I just leave it in the little box. It's a shelf queen and it's gorgeous. But
well, speaking of bougie, Swallow said that I need to get the Bad Axe, and I totally agree with that. That's the saber that I really want. That's what I'm really holding out for. So as soon as that releases, I'm going to be on it.
I've always wanted the Bad Axe, but if I see it, I'm gonna tell my friend here, you go first. You go.
Actually, shout out to Ike. He actually sent me a posting of someone who was selling a Bad Axe, but by the time I got to it, it was already sold. So thank you, Ike, for that. I appreciated it. When it comes to bougie sabers, like Scott and you and I had this conversation, I think actually yesterday, 2 days ago, and that was like, I really like and appreciate bougie sabers, but I really have no desire to own one because for me, I'm very simplistic, and I just don't see, like, I was looking at the Vader's Vault RTS, and there was not a single saber that was like less than like high 800s or $900, and some of them were like well above $1,000, and I just can't justify it myself personally spending that kind of money for a lightsaber. I just can't. I mean, I like them, I appreciate them, but let's face it, when you're collecting, most of those sabers are just going to sit on the shelf or on a saber stand and not going to use it all that much. So I don't really need all those extra bells and whistles. Like crystal chambers are awesome, the rotating stuff and the metal chassis and the OLED screens, Bluetooth, all great. But the reality is I'm not really using that kind of stuff. So for me, if a saber gets over $500, I'm turned off. and I spent a lot of money for my account. Like this one was out the door $680, something like that. But to me, this was something special for me. But anything else, I just can't see spending that money. And nothing against those that do spend the money. Pick what you want and get it. But for me, I just can't. I can't spend that kind of money because at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but they're still just toys.
Yeah, I'd be heartbroken if I spent that kind of money and it was all.
It's been 3 years total, Helm. 3 years.
Yeah, and then you it falls off the table, like with what happened with my my dissident. It falls off the table and the board cracks in half, and then it's just now you've got a really, really nice, expensive bougie paperweight that does nothing.
Bougie paperweight.
I mean, and then you have to spend another $500 and send it off to it's like, and then I dropped it. Like Saberforge didn't care.
Yeah, that's right. And speaking of bougie, let's get into the Sabertrio thing. I really liked, and I still like Sabertrio, but Sabertrio is behind me at this point, and the reason why is because look at their 2 new hilts that they brought out. Like those are starting like 600. The new crossguard is what 725 or something like that.
Yeah, 725.
So Sabertrio started being this company where you can get a saber for $500, fully loaded with all the bells and whistles, and now it's like it's getting way up there, and then they're not open half the time, and it's just like, man, I just feel like they're moving into that elite realm of like Vader's Vault and stuff, and Genesis Custom Sabers, where you have to wait a long time, and you're spending all this extra money, and for me, like I like the Saberforge hilts. Like they have so many different designs. The quality is really nice. If I had to choose between Saberforge and Sabertrio, I would rather have Sabertrio electronics with Saberforge hilt because I think their hilts are nicer. But Sabertrio is great, but I think I'm done ordering from them, at least for a long time.
Well, the thing is that every time they create a new hilt, it's a step up and a step up and a step up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, I mean, you saw the what is it called, the solo guard, kind of sat there in the queue. You can still, I think, buy one from the regular sales, if you're willing to wait.
But they don't even offer like everything's Neo now. You can't even get the in-hilt. And I tried to say, what if I get like a stunt saber or something like that, and then try to upgrade it, and I didn't see that option anymore. So everything is like, it's got to be NeoPixel. It's got to be, all the highest quality stuff. And I feel like they took away some of those options. There's no mid-tier. It's either flashlight or everything.
Well, I mean, I you know me, I love my arc light, but it would be nice to see kind of a more economical hilt produced that the average person can purchase. Like if you can walk away with spending $400 and you get like a CFX saber, and then eventually if they need to find an alternative to just CFX Profi. You can't.
That's the other thing. Now they're selling Profi. Like, to me, what is the point of offering Profi and CFX? But what's interesting though is their Profi is the same price as the CFX, which I appreciate that them doing that, because usually anywhere else you go, if they give you a Profi option, it costs much more. Usually about $50 more, if not more than that.
I think I'd rather have a golden harvest than a Profi. I mean,
at this point, me too, to be honest with you.
Just because I've been trying to learn how to work with Profi, and I understand some of the basics, but it's such a steep learning curve, But CFX is just easy to throw sound fonts on. A golden harvest is just easy to throw sound fonts on, and everything's on board menu, and they're starting to become a little bit more accessible, for like blade profiles and things like that, and gesture controls and whatnot. And I don't know. I mean, I think probably what's going to be coming in the near future is Profi's likely going to start simplifying, um, their interface and make it easier for people to work with, just sort of keep up with it.
That would be awesome if they did something like the Rice editor or something like that with Profi. That would be awesome.
Because don't get me wrong, I mean the effects that you get from just like the basic LGT Profi 2.2 core. I mean, it's just from the lightning deflect to the stab and the fourth. I mean, everything that thing does is amazing, and it does several more things than a CFX can do. But I'm not a programmer.
Yeah, me either. Let's there's some pretty good comments coming in here. The one that I want to say was Ike. Yes, the GHV3 options now for the LGT sabers I think is cool, and I actually want to get my hands on one of those cores, but they're very hard to find right now. And if you can get one that's in stock that's with a saber, it's pretty expensive. But that's one of my hunts, is to get one of those GHV3 LGT cores and see how they put that together. And then was it Swallow? He said that the GHV3 onboard menu is incredible. I agree with that, and I was toying with that on my Saberforge count, and I think the onboard menu is really like nicer than CFX, because you can do more edits on board, where CFX you have to plug it in and do stuff. So I really do appreciate that about Golden Harvest.
Hello, Jedi Phoenix. I was watching Jedi Phoenix's live stream last night for a while, and then I had to go away, and I came back, and Zach had kind of taken over a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So now going back to like I was with the Sabertrio, I think. I mean, I don't know where they can possibly go from here as far as hilt designs, but I think it's incumbent on them to make at least one hilt that's modestly priced. I think they need to find an FX option, because I do really.
I missed that. They need to bring that back. There needs to be an FX option, and I hope that the next time they release a hilt design, which probably won't be for another year because it just released 2. I hope that the next time they release a hilt design, that it's something a little more in the mid-tier range, because right now I'm not paying $700 for a hilt. I just can't afford that. I don't want to pay that, even if I could afford it. And if they do something new or unique, the next thing I'd like to see from them is a curved hilt, which I don't think they ever have plans to do.
And if they did that, it would be such a endeavor for them. They would probably charge over $1,000. I mean, just everything upward trend. It's really interesting how I mean they were struggling mightily with all their reopenings up until like this one that actually worked out quite well for them. And they seem to have sold not as many ready to ship sabers as they did the last. Well, actually, no. The last one it wasn't even ready to ship. It was just general sales. I mean, that's how I acquired. I got my Mira. It wasn't the last one. It was like 3 ago, and they seem to be offering a lot more hilts and whatnot. But
I almost went for that Arclight RTS, but I said, nah. I just didn't want to spread myself so thin. I was really focused on the Saberforge thing and getting those mystery boxes going.
Well, that was a decision that we had made I knew it wasn't. I'm probably never going to be getting another Sabertrio because what I have now, I'm perfectly happy. I've got a mix of stunt sabers. I've got the FX with Pico Crumble. I've got what like three CFX sabers from them. I'm fine. I don't need to indulge any further than that. You know. Plus, I can't afford them anymore. It's just
Yeah, I mean, and for us, again, like, and you and I kind of had this conversation: is what else is out there that is really going to make us want to say, okay, here's my money. And for me, the Bad Axe is pretty much it. There's maybe two other sabers that I would like to get my hands on, but I know those prices aren't going to come down. I'm sorry, I'm not paying more than $500 for a lightsaber anymore. I don't want to do it. Not that I can't, I just don't want to.
what would be ideal for you is to find an empty Bad X at a reasonable price.
You know, I thought about that too, but for one, like hearing you talk about your GCS sabers, and I really would like to get an install from Rob and just see what that's like. And two, after working on my Vanquish so much and the Count Mark One, I don't ever want to install another curved hilt. They're very difficult and challenging. And maybe that's why they also cost more too, because of the level of installation that needs to be done on it.
Let me go grab my my Creed. I'd like to show everyone the install on my Creed because I mean I could get the Vector, but the Vector is unique because it has like kind of a core that slides in, and I don't really need to show that. But I think the Creed is pretty much indicative of what he does for installs. And he has a speeder bike.
That sounds fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You right back.
Going with Jedi Phoenix here. Sometimes there's a such thing as too many bells and whistles. And let's face it, some people spend a lot of money for these metal chassis and rotating crystal chambers and all this stuff. But the reality is when you're actually using the saber, you're not seeing any of that. You have to pull it out and set it on the shelf or a stand to see all those extra thingies going on. And to me, having a 14 karat gold crystal chamber is not important to me.
Yeah. So anyway, let me there we go. Okay. So here's one thing. Just listen to this. You know how smooth that is?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's already one down. I haven't seen you drinking much here, Scott. Come on, dude.
I finished my first one like about 10 minutes ago.
Wow. Oh, well then, never mind.
So just kind of there's like a little unit and like a main cable that runs into there. He's got this little plastic sheath over it.
Yeah, that's right.
You see the board.
How old is that one? Because I don't think he does that anymore, does he? Those plastic tubes.
Yeah, he does it. He
still does it. Okay.
I've seen the like I said, the speeder one that he does now has the same kind of install. This is not that old a Hilt, nice big speaker. My only complaint with this is being baselit. The LEDs just don't seem to be as nice as they are on my Sovereign. My Vader's Vault Sovereign just has the LEDs are a little bit brighter than they are on here. I don't know. This isn't too bad, but it just doesn't seem like the LEDs focus down the tube quite as effectively as it does on my Vader's Vault. The Sovereign is an exquisite piece of kit. And if there's one thing you can say about Genesis Custom Sabers and Vader's Vault, they know what they're doing. If you can afford it and you don't mind waiting a year. So we can talk about that. Waiting a year for a saber.
So Was it FC Dale talking about the OLED screens? Yes, it does add to the price, but to all of the viewers out there, did you know that those OLED screens roughly cost about $15? I think where the extensive upcharge comes into play is wiring it. It takes they're very small. I think it takes about 4 wires to solder up, and then trying to basically cut out the hilt to make the window for the OLED screen. So the OLED screen itself it's not that much money, but installing it, that's probably where the charge is really coming from. Same thing with Bluetooth. I mean, Bluetooth is really cheap too. That's like $15-$20, but the pads on it are extremely tiny. And I did install one on my Vanquish for a bit, but I ended up taking it off just because it drains so much battery life. But yeah, sometimes when you see these things, it's like they charge so much more money for these things, but for parts itself, very affordable.
You're just essentially paying for I don't know, the prestige.
Yeah, that's yes. I mean, pretty much.
I have one hilt with an OLED screen, and it's a novelty. And I don't really even it doesn't.
You don't even utilize it that much, really. It's just like oh, that's pretty, you know.
To me, it's just another choke point. I kind of just put I use that as a frame of reference to where my hand is on the hilt of my Senza, and like I said in that Senza, I am so glad I bought that thing from you because that thing is just it's brilliant. Mm-hmm. And it's usually, you know how I am with the length of the blades, how I tend to like shorter blades, like a 32-inch blade, but that one comes with, what was it, like 36.5, 37.5 inches? I can't even imagine that saber without that blade on it, because Sabertrio did such an amazing job. If anything, I could still buy from Sabertrio, it'd be their blades. Their blades are fantastic. I mean, there's no play inside the. Well, yeah. Anyway, and so Zach from Josh Raven's Nerd Nest, he just got himself a Senza, so we're Senza brothers now, and he got himself a 32-inch blade for his, and I was thinking, dude, you really need to get yourself a longer blade, my friend, but yeah.
I mean, it works with a 32 because even though it came with the 36, I never used it. I always use my 32 on it. However, the 36 does look like it naturally fits well with the saber.
It just doesn't give me any fits to swing it around with the 37. Yeah. What you doing back there, Al?
I am looking for my OLED screens because I think I have 2 of them, and I also have 3 Bluetooth modules. This is the best one. This is the BT, I think 909. It's quite a bit bigger, but this one here, it works well in sabers, and this is what Vader's Vault uses in theirs. But if you see, I mean, what you see, these little tiny edges on the side, those are the pads. So that's what makes it a challenge, is soldering all these little tiny things to your board.
Like the whole lot?
No, I think it takes 4. There's 4, and they're just on the ends. So here on these ends, there's 4 pads there that you have to solder, and that goes onto the soundboard. And then just trying to get that to it can be a bit confusing. But yeah, I mean, like the Joker says, when you're good at something, never do it for free. So this is something that people would not want to do themselves. Even if they could, they may not be able to do it successfully. So I think, yeah, that does warrant being able to charge a bit more. Whether should it be $100 more? Absolutely not. I mean, if the part's $15, I would say maybe $30 for labor. But sometimes you'll see prices go up quite a bit for little stuff like this.
The technological makeup of that is very similar to the hook plates on the Electrum Sabercraft's, little switch plate. How you doing? I'll wait.
Oh, here we go. I finally found my Oled screens.
Are you ever gonna like do an install on your remnant?
My remnant. Do I have a? Oh, the remnant. I don't know. I'm afraid to gut the D3 out of it. I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna leave it as is.
It's just like you're never gonna do it. I was actually thinking, geez, if I ever come across that money, I'd probably like to buy that thing from you because I have a remnant with a D2, but
if you want it, we can talk, and I can. Yeah, you could definitely have that thing because I don't use it.
Money for another saber anyway. So
this is an OLED screen right here. Now these I don't know how to wire yet, but those are all the pads. You probably can't see that very well, but those are all the pads and stuff on the back, and that's the screen itself. Pretty small, but yeah.
You got yourself like a nice bunch of kit back there, huh?
Yeah, I got a lot of parts, here, and I'm able to do a bougie saber. I have crystal chambers and accent LEDs and stuff too. I just haven't.
Should build yourself
on the. I could build a bougie saber. I just haven't done it yet. I'm afraid to get started. And I even have like chassis that already have like OLED cutouts in it, so I can just insert the OLED screen and then wire it up and have a removable chassis. I just again haven't done it yet. Gosh, I was looking at some of these comments and trying to get caught up here.
I'm trying to keep up with them.
Oh, I see you're up. Next big plan is getting Ultra Sabers upgraded. Okay.
I've seen a few people have actually purchased the newer Pixel Blade technology.
For Ultra Sabers, the what is it called, Ultra Pixel?
Yeah, whatever it's called. And yeah, some people they still swear by Ultra Sabers. I saw a video today, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus or like I saw a video, and then some guy got like a AliExpress lightsaber, and he was doing a review, and it was just kind of in a way a little bit refreshing because he knew very little about lightsabers, and it reminded me of like when I kind of first started, and it's just sort of everyone when they first get into the lightsaber community and their first lightsaber is usually like something that places them firmly in the pantheon of like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that,
Mm-hmm.
But as they progress, but I got the feeling that this was just a gentleman that was about it. That was about the level he was doing. He did a modestly decent job, but it was sort of it was woefully it lacked a lot of the panache of experience. People like everyone in the comments and ourselves have been around this community for so long. It's just kind of like you just look at people's decisions. You think, oh man, I wish I could have talked to you. How much did you spend? Like, I mean, I have no issue with someone buying an LGT. I mean, I bought I just bought that just for the sake of buying something inexpensive.
That weathered one.
That weathered one from Epic Sabers. So that may end up being an Epic.
I think it's cool that they have weathered sabers.
I mean, it had some and the guy was really cool on Instagram. He was really friendly and he gave me it was almost like he was surprised that there was this thing called Black Friday, but I think he's in the States, but I don't think he has the stories. Probably like one of those distributors that Lando Sabers and Sam from Absolute Sabers are always warning us about. But he was very, very open, very, very communicative, and very friendly, and so he was the one that had the 3 different hilts that were kind of the Sith flavored with the spikies on the end of it, and I didn't get one of those. I didn't really want to spend the money. I just got myself a nice little, whether it's simple saber that I could maybe throw a wrap on and maybe throw I'm thinking a Golden Harvest core if I can get one of these days.
Yeah, I know. I think it's going to be a while before we can get our hands on any of those. Very few places are offering them, and the ones that do are all sold out. But I'm wondering, I'm curious as to why they are shifting to GHV3. Are they moving away from Profi now? Because I don't know. Because it seems like some people are complaining. Because think about it, the majority of the buyers that are getting the LGT Sabers are newcomers, and they don't know anything about programming this stuff. So maybe they're saying let's shift to Golden Harvest where it can be more customizable, whereas the Profi isn't for those that don't really know. I don't know. I'm just throwing up a hypothesis here, but
I think we're looking at kind of a cultural thing in them. This is not a slight against China or how they do business, although I mean, they do have a reputation for being a little bit opportunistic, and I think what you're just seeing here is they're just taking advantage of all the resources available to them. They're trying to hit every single corner of the market because it seems to me like they don't rest on their laurels. They're just trying to, especially the owner of the company and most of the companies in China, like LGT and what's the other big one? I don't know. They have like 2 or 3 of them, and
yeah. Well, TXQ and
yeah. I
there's
think
one
they're
more. I can't remember.
YDD and I
Yeah,
think
that's it. YDD.
they're just trying to stay competitive. I think they're competing with themselves as much as they are with the American markets, and I think I'm seeing a lot of product coming out of them that is really kind of
Well,
raising my eyebrow. I'm seeing Hilt.
this is what I think. Saberforge made a very wise decision and said, "What can we do to upgrade and progress our electronics that's not Profi?" And Golden Harvest, I think, was the wisest choice because Plector Labs pretty much just said we're not going to pair up with Saberforge. So CFX was out of the question. It wasn't going to be possible. Even if Saberforge wanted CFX, they were not going to do business with it. So Golden Harvest, I think, was a great alternative. And it turns out that, hey, Golden Harvest is great. People, when they discovered GHV3, this is a really good soundboard. And then when I think Saberforge really started taking off with this new partnership, I think LGT looked at that and said, let's get a piece of that pie too, because we're hearing all the buzz about how people like Golden Harvest. And I think that's another reason why they kind of made that shift.
Well, I think everything that Saberforge has been doing lately is very, very shrewd and wise business making decisions. And they've really turned around their franchise. I mean, I see, people that 2 years ago would immediately like poo poo Saberforge, swear by them. Some people are still haters and they're just gonna never be on board with that. And they have like definitely done some things to I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, their lead times are still long, but I still think they're reasonable. I mean, I think 4 months for Saber is reasonable. That's better than waiting half a year for Sabertrio to open up or waiting a full year after you've placed an order to get something from Vader's Vault. So I think it's okay. And they have definitely taken steps to, one, improve their products, and two, improve their the restocks are much more frequent now. And you can actually see Eco Sabers in stock regularly, which before it's like they would do a wave, they'd be all sold out, and you wouldn't see them again for a long time.
Yeah, I mean their Fallen Order is back in stock. The Eco.
Yeah, I saw that, and the Defiant, which I almost ordered the Defiant because that's the only new wave that I don't have yet. I have the Commando and the Fallen already. And something else too is like we were talking about this the other day. Saberforge has hired more people so that way they can improve their workload, I guess is the best way. And they're often their employees full time, with benefits and stuff and paid vacation. So that right there tells you it's a legitimate company who's not just looking out for the customers, but also looking out for their employees. Some other companies don't necessarily do that.
No, I think we can name at least one.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
I know Star Wars Theory. I don't really watch his videos too
I
much.
don't anymore. Yeah, me either.
I find him to be a little bit too impassionate, I guess is the best word. I mean, I like the guy. It's just kind of like, he has a little bit, to me, a little bit of that City of Sabers kind of vibe. He's just kind of, I don't know, he's like super, super chill. But he's obviously big time. And I imagine that like he he can probably, with the maybe some of the revenue that he makes from his channel, he can afford to go to Kyberphonics and do what he's doing. But it should at the very least be. I always look at it as like, whatever someone's gonna get, I like to see the unboxing and see what they got. I'm always interested. Um, so power to him. He seems to be a nice guy. I think that he's been treated rather unfortunately by the powers that be at Disney and or specifically Skywalker. No, not Skywalker Ranch. What are they called? Industrial. What is the? Come on, guys, help me. Who's in charge of Star Wars? Kathleen Kennedy. She doesn't work for Disney. She works.
Yeah, I thought she was out.
Huh?
No, I thought she was out.
No, she's not.
At least out of Star Wars. Okay, maybe not.
I think they got rid of. I think Ryan Johnson's out.
Oh well.
Because he was gonna do that like wicked cool that wicked cool series, that new trilogy. I'm sure everyone was waiting for that. It's kind of funny because it just seems like now whenever they come out with a trilogy, you have to wait 20 years to watch it. And that's when you start appreciating this thing. I was listening to Jedi Phoenix's live stream last night, and the one of the things that resonated with me was, and some other things I had heard, was that after a lot of time, if you look at the prequel trilogy, how widely panned it was when it first came out, and now it's like widely regarded, and everyone's just kind of looking forward to to seeing to seeing what's his name, Anakin there. What's the actor's name?
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen in the new Ahsoka series.
It's supposed to be in the Obi-Wan series too.
In the Obi-Wan series, yeah, as well. I mean, and everyone's looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that. As far as I'm concerned, Hayden Christensen was he was. I mean, I was shitting on him back then when he was playing Anakin, but now he is Anakin, as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to see what he does with the character now, and I'm really happy that they came up with a Sabine Wren, because I'm in love with Sabine Wren. She's one of my favorite female characters, and I think the actress I don't know her name, but someone will come up with in the comments. The actress they picked, she looks exactly like Sabine. As far as I'm concerned,
I don't know who they picked, but if someone were to say who could you picture as playing Sabine Wren, and I would, off the top of my head, think of the girl from Tron, the last ISO. I feel like that actress would look like Sabine.
I think I know who you're talking about, but she's kind of getting just a little bit on the older side right now.
Really?
Yeah.
How long ago was Tron Legacy? Gosh.
Well, she was kind of old, getting older-ish, and then being an ageist. But it's just sort of Sabine Wren's basically a teenager in Rebels, and
that's true.
Of course,
that's true.
By now, as far
as
that
Tron girl is hot,
she is older. Well, yeah. She's what's this? People won't want her out though.
Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
What's going on with what's the name of the woman from the Mandalorian? She got booted for like whatever.
Yeah, some controversial stuff. She posted
Whatever.
something on social media, but the fans are all pissed about it. It's
I mean, because Nina
see
Carrera.
that's the kind of drama stuff that I don't want in my Star Wars. Like I don't want. And this is the big issue that I had with Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. Star Wars should not ever be made political. Period. We watch that stuff to escape that bullshit. So I don't want to see, all of these political statements being made in Star Wars. That's not what we come here for. It's science fantasy. So stop bringing real world problems into science fantasy.
The thing is like, Gina Carano, what she said on her own time, they're not even, I don't even think they were in production of the show anymore.
But we're living in the age where you can't say anything without losing your job or someone getting all in a tizzy over it.
I just don't, I don't think that it's, if you say something controversial, like, I don't believe in people like losing their job for it unless it's like if it's heinous, if you're suggesting something heinous. But I don't think that she did that. So I mean, like you said, I keep politics out of it. If you're concerned about like if you're concerned about Disney's reputation, then you're probably best to just like say, hey, we talked to her. It's her opinion. We don't agree with it, and have at it, Haas. Who cares at that point, right? Because it's like,
well, I mean,
when you start firing people and restricting them, then
this is also another problem. There are still individuals. So just because you work for a company and you have a certain viewpoint, that doesn't necessarily mean that is not the view of the entire company. I'm sorry. So if one person says one thing, it doesn't mean that there's a spokesperson for the entire company or organization.
And everybody should be adult enough to realize that.
Yes.
And in the end, when she's on screen, she's not playing Gina Carraro. She's playing whatever her character's name is. I can't remember right now. And killing it, and everyone is happy. Whatever they do in The Mandalorian. I mean, have you actually seen The Mandalorian? Have you watched it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've watched. Oh yeah, each week, every episode. Yeah. And I liked her character.
Yeah. Oh, I think she's great. So when you got to the last episode there, when Luke showed up, I'm man enough to admit that I teared up a bit.
Well,
you're not emotional though. That's the thing. I don't think.
Well, I'm definitely more logical than emotional for sure. But I will say that there were some feels, and I enjoyed that moment very much. But some of these people that are just bawling and going nuts, I'm like, okay, I bet I don't quite get or understand. And that's the other thing. It wasn't a surprise. Like I knew it was him. Like and when people finally saw when he took the hood off or he had the lightsaber out, people were like, oh my God, it's Luke. I'm like, as soon as I saw the X-Wing, I knew it was Luke.
Yeah, so did I.
But I mean, was it a great moment? Absolutely. Was it emotional? Sure, but it wasn't enough to make me well up or get all,
My man's a Vulcan.
Wait, I'll give you the Spock eyebrow.
See, I'm a Time Lord. So, like, we're two completely different species,
Talking about, okay, so I've seen Hayden in other movies, and no, he is not the greatest actor, but he's also not a bad actor. I don't think it was George's writing. I think it was George's direction, because George wrote everything, but other characters portrayed their roles much better because they're more seasoned actors. I think Hayden was young, and he just took all of the direction from George rather than just saying, no, it's better to play the role this way, or I'm not doing that. Can you imagine George Lucas telling Samuel Jackson, hey, play Mace Windu like this? He'd be like, no, motherfucker, I'm doing it like this, Same thing with Ewan McGregor. He played Obi-Wan very well. Was some of the writing questionable or not great? Absolutely. Some of the writing was bad, but it takes a seasoned or a quality actor to take bad writing and make it into something that is memorable or believable. And I think that's where Hayden Christensen fell short. Was he wasn't the most seasoned actor at that time, and he took all the directions from George, and that's not George's forte. He should not have been directing and moving all the people. He micromanaged too much rather than let the people just discover and come into their roles.
I kind of felt like who played Padme?
That was Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. I felt like Natalie Portman was kind of outside of her element back then. I think she was just kind of used to more.
She was still young then.
Nuanced.
Like you see her in Clone Wars, she was very young then.
Yeah. Now,
by the time we got to Revenge of the Sith, I think that she was much better. But when you see her in other movies outside of Star Wars, she's an incredible actress.
But even if you think about her performance in the Thor movies, she's far more chill now. She can do these roles. I just felt like she's
mature. That's the best way to describe it. She was more
mature. It's just sometimes you can just kind of you have to go in, I guess, to these roles and just go, well, I'm just going to make the best of it, have fun, get my paycheck, not have an attitude. I don't think I don't know. I was on the set of the prequels. I don't think she had an attitude, but she definitely didn't have any chemistry with Hayden Christensen. That was one of the things that was apparent to me. But she did offer the movie the star power. So, in a way, I guess it worked. People, they look back fondly on Hayden Christensen as Anakin, but does anybody really look back fondly as Natalie Portman as Padme? I mean, is that could they have another actress portraying Padme in a flashback scene? And do you think anybody would really?
Well, I mean, part of that is how much do people really relate with the character of Padme? I mean, no one really cares all that much. Hey, what's up, Kyber Phonic? Yeah, he's in the house. That's great. But when you look at Mandalorian and some of these other shows, what are the best rated or viewed episodes? And those were all the ones that had Jedi in them. People don't necessarily watch Star Wars to see troopers running around. I mean, granted, they're great episodes, but people get excited and pumped when they see Jedi around or some type of Sith character, which is why the Ahsoka episodes, amazing. Luke Skywalker showed up, amazing. Darksaber comes out with Moff Gideon, amazing. So,
see, that's a sign. That's chemistry right there. Can anybody honestly say that they could expect anybody other than Rosario Dawson to play Ahsoka at this point? I mean,
and what I also like about these TV shows and these episodes with Jedi and sabers and stuff is that it fuels our community much better too. I'll use Kyber Phonic as an example. As soon as that Ahsoka episode came out and we heard her sabers, all those premier font makers, had something out there, and everybody was buying that stuff up, including myself, because they sounded great.
I love the.
She denied.
Yeah, Rosario was awesome. Speaking of actresses that are just completely have inserted themselves into Star Wars lore with wild, gleeful abandon, Ming-Na Wen, the goddess Ming-Na Wen. She's just been. I follow her on Twitter, and she is so happy to be in that community. And of course, she She's in the she's got the like the triple play. She's in the Marvel universe, Star Wars universe, and what's the third one? I can't remember.
Hmm.
But she's
drawing a blank too.
She's made all the nerd rounds. Yeah.
So I am very much looking forward to our shipping notifications for our Saberforge mystery boxes. And for everyone out there viewing or watching this, the lead times I said was 2 to 4 weeks. Usually the mystery sabers go out pretty quickly, but we're hoping that we're going to see them before the holidays, and we're going to do another live stream where we unbox our mystery box sabers. Paradigm, that way. There we go. Paradigm got a champion tier and a veteran tier, and I got a veteran tier and a boneyard.
I mean, we're just going to open probably the veteran tiers during the live stream. And
fuck it, I'm open both of them.
All right, fine.
Let's just do it. Like, we'll have ourselves a holiday party. It'll be Christmas will come early this year.
We can spread it out, like,
you
that's
get a saber. You get a saber.
When Saber Sourcing did that unboxing time, like, how'd you get your like mystery saber so fast? It's just like it's impossible, you know. It's like what'd you do? Did you go to Texas? Did you go take a trip to Texas to like grab these things or what?
I'm really excited about these mystery boxes we're gonna get. But here's the best part though, like us unboxing them live. Like before, when we did our other unboxing, we knew what we had, but this one we don't. So it's going to be a surprise to us. It's going to be a surprise to our viewers, and it's going to be super exciting.
What's going to happen is like one of us is going to get like a show. I'm going to get a shoto, and you're going to get like a crystal chamber, freaking shit. So you're gonna be like,
probably. I mean, that would be awesome if I did, but I doubt it.
It's gonna take a dump on me. That's what's gonna happen.
So we were talking about this earlier, and we're hoping that maybe the mystery boxes will just kind of stay in stock for a while, and they'll be made to order. But you did say that the veteran tier was sold out, but there's still champion on up. I get paid this week, so I think I might order another mystery. We'll see.
We'll see. I'm like, it's that like paycheck where all the bills come due. It's just like dump, and there's like no money extra. Yeah. So I'm not gonna be able to get one. I'd really like to get a hero Neopixel. I'd like to. Yeah, do it. Right?
I will say this though. I really hope that I don't get the thread in blade. I want just an RGB without that, because I've got that thread in thing for this Count Mark II, and yeah, it's cool. But if I had my choice, I would rather not have the thread in blade. It's a great idea, but it's not really my thing. I need to do my review on this so I can actually talk about that. I might just do a separate video just on the thread and blade alone, because I mean, there's much to be said about
it. I'm not really.
Do it. Do what must be done.
Do
not hesitate. Show no mercy. So I play Battlefront 2, and whenever I play as Palpatine, I always use that. I always start heroes and villains with that emote, so that way my whole team knows to do what must be done.
We haven't played yet. I mean, like we've friended each other. We just haven't played.
I'm always have it. We need to play next week because you have it. I tried to do the whole tanks thing, and I'm just like, I'm just not feeling that game. I'm sorry.
It just. Wow, for a military guy, I can't see you being a tank driver.
No, I'm just not about the artillery. I mean, I could be, but I'm just not. But yeah, this Now, I think just talking to Hyperphonic here, I think the 8 and 9 Sabers Dooku Hilt was the best, but now that the Saberforge Mark II reduced the size of theirs, I think theirs is the best and probably the most screen accurate because of the pommel mainly. But this hilt it's glorious. I mean, it looks good. It feels amazing. The only downside is it only holds a 24 millimeter speaker, and it's right at the base of the opening, which is kind of small, so the volume isn't that high, and I have it at 100. But other than that, I mean, this saber is really, really nice. Really nice. But I have the Mark 1 as well, and the comparison video will be coming up shortly after I do the review this week on this one. And then I'll send that out to you, Scott, the Mark 1, which I actually have the Count's Claw from Hyperphonic on that saber, which I like very much. And then also Duke by K-Sith. So I'm going to add both those to this one as well. Mark 2.
Shannon is here.
Hey, forged by Dark. Some of those videos you've been kicking out lately, brother, have been you've been dancing away from the light. Okay, I have to bring this up again because it's amazing. That video that he did in the hallway with that faceless mask, it's so creepy and horror film worthy. It's amazing. And then he did that other video with Code Echo where they had the red and the blue crossing each other, and he was just staring at the camera with that faceless mask on. It's so epic. I want more videos with that. Forged by Darkness. Let's do this, Shannon. Let's do it. Well, I'm going to shut up because he wants Darth Paladin to come out, which maybe I'll do that when I demo and feature my account Mark II. We'll see.
Have we ever seen a Darth Paladin? Does it exist?
Oh, there it is. Darth Paladin.
I mean, I can go back and forth easily between the light and the darkness. Except when I'm playing video games. I'm always a goody-goody in video games. For some reason, I always play good guys. Don't know why. But going back,
the dark. Well, when I'm playing Battlefront 2, and yes, I do the old ones. But when I play Battlefront 2, I of course play. I prefer the dark side. Funny enough, but when I'm playing on the light side, Rey is usually my go-to because I like the duel. So when I go into showdown with my friend, we try to do 1v1s as much as possible, and I usually have like Rey's my top dueler, and then of course Count Dooku is my dark side top dueler.
What we need to do is I know that Shannon and Code Echo, they play Battlefront 2. We could
what? Shannon plays Battlefront? Oh, okay. We got to party up and go into some heroes and villains and have some fun.
I mean, we need to go 4v4. I know that based on my experience playing with I played with Shannon and Code Echo, I think maybe a couple times. It didn't necessarily go horribly, but
it didn't go well.
At one point, we played against a team of ringers that I don't really, I have no skills in that game whatsoever. I just run around as Rey, and whatever OP character I can find, and just basically mash buttons. I admit it, I'm a button masher. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Dooku has 3 dashes, and I gave there's my gamer tag. So, but if you send me a friend request or something like that, make sure there's a message so I know who you are, so that way it can accept it, because I don't just accept anybody. I'm funny like that. But sometimes there's nothing wrong with button mashing if you have the right character and you're using it appropriately sometimes. But like Luke Skywalker, if you play with Luke, like he's easy to button mash with, you know. But I prefer the ones that you have to use a little bit of a skill set with. But I like playing with Palpatine. I like playing with Grievous. I like playing with Dooku. Dooku's my favorite. On the light side, the blasters are better than the sabers because Anakin is so glitchy. I play with him a lot, but he's so glitchy. I die a lot with Anakin, but Rey's probably my number one. I don't like playing with Obi-Wan just because most people just hold that left trigger and block the entire time, and it's really frustrating and annoying. But I do like all the blasters on the light side.
Well, what weekend are we going to end up doing this?
Why not this? I mean, this upcoming weekend.
I think I'm
we'll have to make a like a Facebook messenger group, and we can just type it in and say, hey, you want to log on and play, and that way we can all kind of see and talk at the same time.
Yeah, if someone else could coordinate that shit. I'm horrible at coordinating stuff. Okay. I can barely handle this. I'm just kind of trying to keep up with the messages, but I'm rubbish at it. Next Saturday, I've been talking to Brandon Kish. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him. Where he wants to do a podcast with me, but it's going to be decidedly not. Well, maybe it'll be a little bit science fiction, but he wants to delve a little bit into the sciences and theoretical physics, which is sort of kind of a hobby of mine. I like science. I'm not going to get into it, but it should be fun. We're going to try some things. He's got some theories he wants to discuss, and I'm like intrigued. Whatever I can do to learn something new, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I've never done a podcast before. But,
I've done one. I was a guest on someone's podcast. It was fun. It was interesting, but it was fun. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll be anybody else. Now, I'm not like I don't suffer.
As long as there's like a structure to it, and they're like asking questions, and have like a where you're going with a flow. Then it's enjoyable.
He said he was going to put something together, and the man is like one of the smartest people that I've ever met. And I used to be friends with well, not friends, but I knew Carl Sagan's wife, who was an amazing scientist in her own right. And it'll be fun. It's the kind of thing that I like to get into. And I don't suffer from the Dunning-Kruger effect. I don't really think that I know more than I actually do. I'm rather humble. I mean, I admit like mathematics is not my forte, but definitely as far as you start talking about like string theory and dark matter, I can hold my own.
You humble? No.
What?
No, totally. So what? We're approaching an hour and a half here, so I want to try to close out for because I still have to work in the morning. Close out with something.
9 o'clock.
What do you have kind of coming down the pipeline as far as sabers or content, minus our mystery boxes that are coming hopefully sooner than later? Do you have any reviews or demos or anything that you have planned coming up this week?
Honestly, in this, I'm going to take this opportunity to just kind of explain to people, like, my job has been, it's gotten a lot more difficult. It's just been, there's been some changes in the company, and just logistically, there's been a lot of things that have been very frustrating that I've been dealing with, and it's gotten a lot more stressful. So when I come home after work, I'm pretty much beat down, and I don't really have much creativity left. And not only that, but from an economic standpoint, just simply not being able to buy as many sabers, and there's not as many sabers out there within the
Out there.
that I can afford. And I'm not. I'm all set with LGT. If I could find sabers that like have older installs, like Nato Biscotti V3, V4, Crystal, older Crystal Focus, Crystal Shard, sabers, that don't break the bank and are interesting. That's the kind of thing I'm interested in. I mean, I don't really need to have every saber doesn't have to be a Profi or a CFX or bougie to the max. Just you spend $200, you get yourself an interesting hilt from time to time. But that the possibilities of that are far diminished, and I don't have the money for it. So that's why I've been sort of falling back on sound fonts, because sound fonts are something that I can afford. But even that, I'm starting to get to the point to where I have so many sound fonts that you can only get so many before you get to a point where you're like, yeah, they're they all kind of after a while it's just like
Well, I can listen to a sound font now, and I can tell where the inspiration is. I can say, okay, and some of these fonts that come out, they're utilizing sounds from different, I want to say other fonts, but other characters. Like for instance, I listen to one sound font, and I can say, oh, that power on is like Darth Vader in the hallway, and that hum is like this over here, and that swing sounds like this, And so now it's almost like a Mr. Potato Head, kind of. You can take, here's the eyes. Oh, I'll put up the angry eyes on, and I'll put on the teeth instead of the lips, and I'll do the arms, and I'll add the big nose without the mustache, and then here's the next sound font. So I agree that. Sometimes you hear so many now that what's really truly unique. Now, don't get me wrong, I like them all, and some of them I listen to and think like, yeah, that's great, but it takes a special sound fonts. Like when that Gray Assassin that BK put out, I heard it, I thought like, okay, that's one I definitely have to have on the saber.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't have the discerning ear to hear and pick out. Like I can't. The way my brain works is I can't really identify one thing from another when it comes to like just an oral sort of input. I'm not that discerning. But going back to BK Saber Sounds, as far as like everyone is amazingly skilled, and I'm always want to say that I'm respectful of everybody that produces sound fonts, but for some reason Brian from BK Saber Sounds, he produces sound fonts that aren't canon. He actually said to me that Vader sound font that I just recently did I did my demo with, it was Dark Side. And he said that wasn't one of his favorites, because he likes doing more original fare. And I like someone that can create a sound font that doesn't sound too outrageous, doesn't go all over the map, isn't just like a complete it's okay if it's a dark side sound font and it's kind of nutty. I like something that sounds like it could be a legit sound font, or a legit this is how the saber would perform. Is very unique. I'm gonna actually let me get that Gray Assassin. I just want to play this. It may take a sec. Let me see. Sound bank selection. Oh, it's already set to it. Great. I love this sound font. I love this hum.
The reason why I can tell you why I like that one so much. That power on is Count Dooku.
Yeah, and the retraction is. I like the retraction because it's quick, subtle, efficient.
And what he did with the hum, it's the same tone or the same pitch as Dooku, but he put something else on top of that kind of gives you that not Sith sound. And so I really appreciate what he did with that sound.
Here's what he does that I appreciate the most.
It's all about the accent. If you don't have a good accent swing, that's just me.
I adore the sound font. And this is sort of like one of the last ones along the like. I pretty much bought all the ones that I want from him at this point, but this one's just stellar. I can't recommend this one higher. And like,
Now I can say, agreeing with you about BK is, he keeps his sound fonts, and this is why I like Kyberphonic, Ksif, BK, and Legeti Arctique, is their sound fonts stay within the realm of what I believe a lightsaber would sound like.
yeah,
And like Turtle Helm brought up Grayscale, I think his sound fonts are cool, but me personally, I don't get any of them because they sound too far away from what I believe a lightsaber would sound like.
I
Now, when you have like these other sound fonts like the Millennium Falcon, the TIE Fighter, the Pod Racer, that still works because it's a Star Wars themed sound. But when I think lightsaber, like again, maybe I'm just old fashioned or traditionalist, but if it doesn't sound like something that would be in a movie, then it's not something that I really want to hear or feel. And on my sabers, they're still great, but they're just not going to be on my saber.
for me, I work kind of with Brian a little bit to help him like resolve some issues that he had with like the nomenclature for his sound fonts, and he was able to, that was the impetus for his V2s that he came out with for everybody. Once that like real issue was fixed, and I don't know, the guy just like his style, like it falls into the niche of what I like from a sound font, and as far as like, unique things. But like when a sound font gets too like I'll always keep an eye out. Someone will come out with a free sound font, like there was one that came out and it was Decimation, and I can't remember who produced it. It was like and I like that sound font because it was like they had like several people contributed parts and they created like an amalgam sound font, and it was great. I mean, it was like decidedly dark side. I have it on several of my sabers, and I really really liked it. But when you have a sound font that just kind of you listen to it and you go like like that doesn't really sound like anything to me. It's just sort of like it's annoying. It's weird. I just like when it comes to sound fonts, I don't like annoying, weird, or like too catastrophically, full of like I don't know. I like something a little bit more coherent, but that's just me. I mean, other people they like sound fonts that are funny and amusing and interesting, but like yeah, I just can't see myself like I'm always imagining myself in battle. Like usually, like I'm kicking your ass, I'm just like I just gotta get going out of the known universe because he's just
okay. I'm going to your Facebook. I'm printing off a picture of your face and I'm sticking it on my little punching bag here. And I'm gonna whack the shit out of it.
Yeah, you gotta miss it every single time. Just gonna be dodging your ass. we know we've been drinking and it's getting late in the hour because that's when we start beating on each other a little bit. Yeah, Ascension. I like Ascension. That is a really really cool sound font.
I only have Ascension on my LGT sabers, and those particular tracks, they don't include the accent swings. And that's one thing I don't like about those. Some of those LGT cores, the Ascension, the Dooku, which really bothers me, the Kylo Ren, those don't have accent swings. So when you're swinging them, you don't hear the accents, which kind of bothers me because I do like Ascension, but I don't actually have it on like a CFX saber or a saber that has the accent swings included. So, but yeah, those a lot of good sound fonts out there. But for me, like with what Dragon Rider was saying, like I like bassy sound fonts, which is why Vengeance is like my number one. You know, I love Dooku. I like the Rogue Vader. I like the more bass, the better. Yeah.
I like the dark side sound fonts that have like kind of that warbly sort of sound that almost like the Kyber crystal is resisting what it's being forced to do. That's complaining. Very bassy, very like an Inquisitor sound font, where you can tell the thing's spinning in the air, so you can hear it. It's really, really cool.
And the second sister, oh man, I like that font a lot too.
Man. It's one of the all-time greats. I mean, if anything,
and the Senate, that's a good one too.
There needs to be a
Arcane.
There needs to be a Hall of Fame for sound fonts, and certain ones would definitely go in there.
You should do. Remember, I do like a GP top 5 sound font thing. You should do like a top 10 sound font video and demo the ones that you believe are your top sound. I need to do another one because I think the last time I did mine was 2 years ago, and
I actually
new ones that I like. So.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, and I mean, it did strike me that it was like 2019 or something. I'm like, wow, that was like the start of the end of the world. I remember that. That's what you were doing. I've never really done one. It should be something that I actually.
But that's a living, breathing list, because as new fonts constantly come out, that list could change and adjust over time.
The thing is like I kind of be a little bit biased, like, and I can pick up like some really oddball sound fonts. Like, let me play this one for you, and I can't remember exactly what the sound font is, to be perfectly honest, but. It's just nutty and
nutty.
Cool. It's cruel. It's like, I'm going to cut you in half, and then I'm going to lick up the viscera and sinew and blood.
Dragon Rider, I would me personally, I would go for the Saberforge Eco with the Profi, just because I think the Eco Sabers, one, are really nice, and two, I think the Hilt designs are better than what most LGT stuff is. Going back to your font there, when you said nutty, Scott, for me, the most exciting and best part about a saber is when you power it on. And like you made a comment on one of my videos, I had like a font going, and you said when you power it on, it lets people know I'm going to murder you and your life is going to end. And I agree with that. When you power the saber on, I want to feel it has to sound so strong and passionate when I push that button and turn it on. Like, you want to feel the energy of that saber, and that tells your opponent you just mess with the wrong tree. You barked up the wrong tree, and this is going to be the end of you. And that's why I like Dooku so much. His ignition is just perfect.
Conversely, like I like a sound font, like this, where it's just kind of like, you're about to be in a duel.
Yeah.
A slow, steady duel. So there's two flavors,
Mm-hmm.
You have, so this is what it should be. It should be 5 of your favorite light side, 5 of your favorite dark side. Now, I have so many dark side sound fonts that I love. One of my favorite light side, and I don't know, I'd consider, like, this is actually kind of, this sound font, the Gray Assassin, is supposed to be sort of like middle of the road. Kyberphonic, I think it was Kyberphonic Battle. It's one of my most favorite.
I like that one a lot.
That's
you know what that's from, right? He took the sounds from Battlefront 2 and made a sound font.
which apparently worked amazingly.
Yeah, it's incredible. I love that sound file, and the best part is it's free. At least I got mine free. It was available free. I have the K-Sith one. I don't know if you. I think you have the Kyberphonic one.
All right, so
But K-Sith has one, and he had that out for free.
Let's see what we got going on here. What is this? That's not nice. That's nice at all. It's like my face on a punching bag.
Unfortunately, I need to tap out on this one because I do have to work in a few hours. But now that I realize if we ever do these on a Sunday again, that we can do these much earlier, so we'll have way more time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just like started another beer, but that's okay. I'll just drink this by right now.
Yeah, I brought up 2 and said, okay, I'll just call it there. But,
what time is it there?
It's 2:40 in the morning.
2:40 in the morning. What time do you have to be up?
9. I'll be up 7. Be to work at 9.
That's not too bad. I have to be up at 5.
Oh,
so,
but it's also not 2:40 in the morning for you right now, though.
It's only 8:40 here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is fine because I think we pretty much covered everything that we wanted to talk about anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of getting bored with you.
Fair enough.
Dude, my brother, I can never get bored with you.
But yeah, this has definitely been fun, and I am super excited for our next live stream when we get our mystery boxes, and hopefully that's going to be sooner than later. Hopefully we'll do this again in 2 weeks. Fingers crossed.
Well, we'll see. I'll keep you informed of my notifications.
You'll get yours before I do because mine have to come across the pond, but still,
Yeah, I just hope that they don't linger too much. If they're like waiting for them to all sell out before they ship things off.
I hope that's not the case. That would be stupid. That would be foolish on their part anyway.
So you and I need to tell Saberforge right now. If anybody from Saberforge is watching, if you can have a degree of alacrity in the shipping of our stuff.
Place priority on all veteran mystery boxes. Ship those suckers.
That's right. That's what I'm saying here. So, hey, thank you, Emery, for live streaming with me again. I think this is something that you and I are probably going to be doing for the foreseeable future because I don't know.
I'm almost down to doing this once a month. I mean, what the hey? Why not? I mean, it's a good time.
Well, the thing is, it's just like as far as these live streams go, I just kind of like the larger live streams. I'm just sort of like a wallflower and sitting in the background, and I'm not in the click. I don't have all the stories and everything. So whenever something comes up, like, the thing is you and I, we tend to talk about things that are sort of really pertinent to the Saber community thoughts that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about like, the hey, we're pals or whatever. I mean, yeah, we are, but I like to make, and this isn't a slight against anybody, but I really like it to be, as much fun as it is substantial. And I
like addressing the comments too, because let's face it. I mean, I've watched some of the larger live streams and you don't really feel a part of the stream. But these, I like to try to, really look at the comments and
people included.
Feedback,
the stuff that we're talking about. Yes. I want people to care what we're talking about. I don't want it to be like, hey, like, we're all like talking about stuff and it's just like, everyone else is watching and just going like, we have no idea what they're talking about. It's just like, people, they're interested in what's going on in the Saber community and thoughts on said Saber community. So let's focus our energy there. And I think that's something that we do remarkably well. But then again, I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're also a little bit biased too. I mean, but hey, we do this for us and our viewers and the ones that stick around. It's nice to have them here. So, and
we work together well. I think we're on the same. We're always kind of synced when it comes to this stuff. Some of the stuff that like you and I say In messages, I don't. I think we really get into the meat and potatoes, the bread and butter, the
Yeah.
gritty and the bolts of the saber community. This is something that we're really really passionate about. And on that bombshell, I'm gonna wish you a fine evening, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I thank
Yeah.
you
Same to you.
everybody who showed up. As always, I love each and every one of you. You guys are so awesome. For
Yes. It's
with
always a
our
pleasure. I love
shenanigans.
hanging out with these guys. It's always fun.
Couple of drunk guys. Next time, we're gonna do it in a fashion that affords us a little bit more freedom to drink and kind of linger for a bit and get into the weeds of whatever it is that we want to talk about, so we can get ourselves in trouble.
I like that.
And now I want to say goodnight to everybody, and we'll catch you next time, whenever that is. So probably, hopefully, like Emery said, be within a couple weeks. If Saberforge delivers the good, hopefully sooner rather than later. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.